Welcome, everybody, to this month's Roundtable Discussion. This is the first time we're having this format. We will have a half an hour, and we've got some wonderful guests talking on this month's topic of serving multi-generationally. That is a mouthful. So we've got Ingela and Mikael. They're in Sweden. They're with King's Kids in Sweden. In fact, they're in Heineken right at the moment, but they're normally in Sweden. And Andrej and Nikolaj in Rostov and Don in Russia. We're so grateful that you could come and be with us. I'm just going to kick off now by asking Nikolaj, maybe. Yeah, that's another thing that's new for this roundtable. We're actually going to have translation. So we're privileged that Nikolaj could join us, and Andrej is going to help to translate for him and also give in his feedback. So Nikolaj, maybe you can share a little bit of some of the things that you learned from the resources from this month.
Ну, я просто заметил, что несмотря на расстояние и разницу культур, которые у нас есть,
I observed that even we have these different cultures and huge distances.
мы проходим похожие вещи,
but we're going through similar things.
И многие истории — это просто как взгляд с другой стороны на то же самое, что проходим мы здесь.
And many stories that I hear there, it's like the similar story from different perspective that we have here.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I don't know if you want to maybe just mention, Andrej and Nikolaj, a little bit about your story there in Rostov, and so people can understand a bit of your context. Maybe Andrej or Nikolaj.
Yeah.
Oh,
here. Yeah, no, let's start. I mean, yeah, for me, actually, it was very interesting to listen, and it was good points, but maybe after I can share a little bit what was my points from the video. But what we experience here, we pass, what to say, 3 years ago, we was able to pass leadership to the younger leaders, actually Nikolaj and his wife, and to the leadership team here. And after that, we start to see great growth and many young people, and very similar to the experience in Spain with the creative evangelism, with the new approaches to preach to young people on the streets, and different things that start to happen. And yeah, I mean, I will prefer that he will tell more because they're doing it. I'm just kind of chairing them. This is my main job, probably. Chairing and answer some questions when they ask. But I would like that maybe Nikolaj say more what they're doing. I don't know if it will be better to do now or a little bit later.
You can do it now, yeah, and then people will understand.
Я могу рассказать о том, как там был конкретный вопрос о передаче лидерства.
Yeah.
Да, ну, немножко тогда я с этого начну.
Yeah, maybe I can start about how they pass leadership to us. I will start from this.
Да, я немного просто это скажу в общих чертах.
Maybe very general, I will talk about this.
Что мы, до того, как я попал в YWAM, я давно знал о том, что YWAM есть в моем городе.
That before that I joined YWAM, I for a long time knew about YWAM.
И, долгое время почти ничего не было слышно, потом...
And somehow for a long time we didn't hear much about YWAM.
И мы занимались, у нас была команда евангелизма, и мы ездили по разным городам и делали что-то очень похожее, что делает YWAM.
And we have a team of evangelists, and we do evangelism in different areas, in different cities. We was traveling. We was doing kind of similar things to YWAM.
И потом Дух Святой побудил нас ехать в Иран, чтобы проповедовать Евангелие.
And then Holy Spirit inspired us to go to Iran, to preach gospel in Iran.
И мы молились, чтобы просто была возможность. Мы не знали, как поехать
and
в
we
эту
was
страну.
praying and asking for opportunity, how we can go to other countries. I mean, we didn't have any idea how we can go to Iran.
Примерно в то же время Андрея депортировали из Армении.
Approximately the same time, Andrej was deported from Armenia.
И он решил начать DTS здесь за долгое время.
And he decided to do restart of DTS here.
И когда мы познакомились, он сказал, что одно из направлений возможных практики — это Иран.
And when we meet, he said one of the direction for outreach will be Iran.
И тогда мы всей командой присоединились к DTS.
And this way we join with all our team and we come to DTS.
Но мы не планировали оставаться в YWAM изначально. Нас было 6.
It was 6 of us. We come, team of 6 to DTS. And we didn't plan to stay in YWAM.
Потому что у меня был образ YWAM, как будто бы это что-то, где ничего не происходит.
Because somehow I have this image of YWAM, that image, YWAM, it was placed and not many things are happening.
Но встретившись с другим лидерством внутри уже DTS,
and then when I experienced different kind of leadership, I mean, inside of DTS, we meet different kind of leadership that другим, чем где.
Чем в церковной среде, наверное,
Maybe,
я могу с этим
let's say that it was different type of leadership that I experienced in the kind of church circles. That was different leadership.
Потому что обычно старший лидер или пастор, или кто-то с позиции.
Because often some senior leaders like pastor or somebody who have position over you.
По крайней мере, вот это часто в нашем контексте.
At least, let's say in Russia we experience it often. I cannot say about others.
Да. Есть
similar, lots of places, yes.
Есть такая позиция, что как будто бы человек доминирует или давит своим статусом.
There's like experience that kind of person is dominating, kind of using his status to push you to do something.
Но в YWAM мы почувствовали другой подход.
But in YWAM we actually experience different approach.
Когда я могу разговаривать с старшим лидером,
when I could talk with the senior leader,
делиться своим видением, делиться своими целями,
share my vision, share my goals,
и чувствовать не просто признание, как будто мы в какой-то степени на равных общаемся.
And I'm not just and when I share it, I not just feel that he recognizing me, but somehow I feel that we're talking on the equal. It's like we like equal, something like this.
И при этом я все равно понимаю авторитет и авторитет человека.
And at the same time, the authority, or let's say authority of respect of this person not disappearing. I mean, I'm still respecting this person. This person still have authority. It's not disappearing, but at the same time we are equal.
И это такое, мне потребовалось время, чтобы поверить в то, что так вообще может быть.
And it took time for me actually to believe that it could be like this, because I observed it, but I couldn't believe in it in the beginning.
И вот таким образом мы поняли, что мы будем продолжать в YWAM двигаться. То есть это одно из самых главных.
And this was one of the main reasons why we decided to continue to work with YWAM.
Потому что я поверил в то, что возможна преемственность поколений.
Because actually I believed that it's possible to have this преемственность поколений, when it was cross-generational link happening, that it's possible that the young generation taking from the old generation. It's not split between generations.
И то, что нам готовы отдать лидерство, отдать позиции, это тоже было важным аргументом.
And when and another thing that was a big argument to us, that actually they was ready to give us the positions, that they was ready to give us leadership. Actually, this kind of was win me too.
So championing the young people, definitely. Going on in Rostov. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Сколько сейчас у вас молодых людей здесь?
Да, сейчас у нас команда примерно 40 сотрудников вообще в YWAM.
Now we have 40 staff.
Wow.
And how old of them?
Средний возраст где-то 23 года.
The middle age is 23.
23. Wow, average age. That's amazing. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to ask Ingela and Mikael also a little bit to tell us a little bit about themselves and maybe share something that stood out to them from this, and then we'll come back to you guys again. That's a great story. I really enjoyed it.
Well, we are working with King's Kids in Sweden. I'm the national leader, and
I'm the son of the national leader.
So that's really multi-generational there in one family.
Yeah, and you also have started a base with YWAM King's Kids Borås. So we work both nationally and locally where we live a lot. So we work with, when we say all generation, it's children, young people, and adults together. So we also work with the youngest ones a lot, because we work a lot with families, and we want to equip families to work together in teams, so they really can minister different ages together. So that's kind of the heart of what we're doing.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to have someone from King's Kids. We all know about King's Kids, and we know what you're doing is working with a different generation. But just to emphasize the fact that if we are looking at working multi-generationally or serving multi-generationally in YWAM, it needs to include even that next generation as well. Not just looking, I mean, what you guys are doing in Rostov is amazing, and having the average age only 23, that's just phenomenal. But also to think next generation as well. So yeah. Was there anything that stood out to you, Ingela? I think you said something about Lisa's LDX.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to get to know different generations, I mean, I'm kind of one of the older generations in our church, because we are working very close to the church where we live. And to really become friends with the other generations, not just seeing that I'm supposed to give something to them, but also that they really can give something to me. So to just meet around, she was speaking about having a meal together, meeting in the kitchen. I think that's really nice, having a kitchen church around the kitchen table, and to see the gold in the next generation. Not just see that they are different and that it's a problem, but really see the gold. And that's something that we really speak with parents about the children, to see the gold in them from the beginning, and to see what gifts they have and how you can support them and coach them really from when they are quite young. We want to train the children also to be leaders really early. So yeah, we can see that they can take up leadership very early, actually. You have some good examples from our...
Yeah, we had this one 8-year-old girl who was part of what we were doing. And then one day she said, why don't we start a Bible club, and we could eat Bible food and do dramas? And we were like, yeah, let's do it. So she came with the idea. She was part of forming it, but we were leading it a lot, and she was coming in with her things that she liked. And yeah, it was a really good Bible program. Especially the Bible food was very interesting to eat and to find out her ideas about, and so on.
Yeah.
So thank you for carrying on. I think my internet just went out for a second there, so that's probably what you were seeing when I disappeared. Sorry. Yeah, Nikolaj, Andrej, you said you were mentioning a little bit about, and that was something interesting to me as well, with Lance and the guys in Spain on the lounge, and what Ingela just said about the seeing the gold, and they were talking about like seeing the prophetic in the youth, and like calling out the gifts and giving them, supporting them. And I think that if we're in a sort of position of leadership, that's one of the things that we need to be doing. What else have you seen as a good example through the resources, or something that you have found is useful for us to know?
No, I mean, first of all, from the videos, I think for me it was important that that the young generation really want to be involved in something important. And that's actually what we observe here a lot, that when you give to young people opportunity to join important thing, they are ready to give their life. And actually they ready to commit, they're ready to travel, they're ready to live by faith. And do, like Nikolaj is now organizing project 1040 for unreached people groups in Russia. Yes. And it's like short-term outreach in summer, training and outreach. And it's interesting because like many young people actually ready. You just call them for something important and they will join. Then another thing that we need to be honest, open, hospitable. I mean, I just put it all in one word: open, honest, and hospitable to them. And this is, I think, very true too. And then another thing that I forget the name of the youngest guy from Spain. He was talking about that this young generation, they not give second chance. This is very interesting too for me, was because, yeah, actually I observe it because with this young generation, they are much less position orientated. They really not care which kind status you have. They observe your life, and it's very easily to lose their attention very easily. I mean, if you, they will not just follow you because you are the leader, and this is kind of, I'm totally agree with it. Exactly. Yeah. For me, generally, when we just have short pre-discussion before the recording, and I was asking Belinda, I say, Belinda, do we have this value in YWAM somewhere to be cross-generational? Because maybe I forget some of our values. And then I say, no, but we're talking about champion young people. And yeah, of course, we have value to value all individuals. And I think it's of course, all generations is important. But I think for us, like YWAM, we need always remember that we are YWAM, youth with a mission. I mean, and this is something that we need to remind ourselves and highly prioritize the young people. I mean, for me, I did LDC right before we ran the DTS with Nikolaj, and actually we had some talks about their coming to DTS when I was doing LDC with Steve Meyers. And there it was great training. And they was talking about generation and that you need to understand your status, or you need to understand your face, where you are and what God is expecting from you. And at the same time, it was release of new cartoon. It was 4 years ago. It was cartoon Cars 3. And actually what I highly recommend all YWAM leaders who are older than 30 to watch this cartoon, because it's prophetic. I mean, it is prophetic cartoon. And the most prophetic part there, it's when they have this voice, McQueen fell behind. McQueen fell behind. And it's actually what happened with us personally when we're reaching 40. Mikael, welcome to the club. And it's not become better. It's not. And this is reality. And what I want to say that actually for us, like organization, it could happen. Mm. And this is the choice that we need to understand what we need to do with it. And in this cartoon, the main idea was that McQueen, great racer, need to understand that his role is different now, that he needs to become coach, that he needs to become trainer, that he needs to become person who will release new champions. And this is what I think we need to do. We need to champion young people. I mean, this is our value. And we need to give them opportunity to lead. And I'm very kind of, I'm believing in this with 100%, that the older generation need to take right position. I mean, we need to stop. We need to stop to run DTSs. Of course, I mean, you not stop it and just leave it and then it's disappear. No, but we need look for young people who will be ready to take it and lead. And so I talk with so many YWAM leaders, and then YWAM leaders will say, but nobody want to take. I mean, people not take initiative. But actually, I'm not agree with it. I mean, people don't want to take when we're not ready to give away. And this is true. I mean, when we're ready to give away and start to become a coach, start to become a kind of trainer, to change our role, then they will be ready to take leadership. And we need to do it how fast as possible. I mean, then longer we wait with it with YWAM, then the higher risk we have that it will be harder to do in the future. Mm-hmm. And this is what we experience here, and I'm so thankful to the Lord that He helped us with this. And actually, we see now this cross-generational work. And it was hard in the beginning, because in the beginning, older generation feel that they kind of neglected. They feel that they not need it. They feel it. But now it's already 3 years past, and we talk with, last week, I talked with one of our senior leaders who feel the most kind of neglected in that time. And I talked to this lady, and she said, you know, Andrej, I'm so thankful. And I actually, now I understand, and I really enjoy my new role. I really enjoy that I could be this coach, I could be this teacher, I could, and I so excited about see what these young people do. And for me, this was the moment of the day. I mean, I was crying after that she left the car. No. I was crying. I was so thankful to the Lord, because it was kind of, I knew it from her acts. I knew that she already did not have bitterness, but it was so nice for me to hear these words. And it was older generation. And this is what we need to see. I mean, we need to somehow release them and to stop to be a champions. I understand that we like to be a champions, but we already, I mean, we become older, and this is the reality. And if we want that, you know, I'm sorry that I talk so much. I will finish right now. When I was talking about this recording, I was remember one story that happened in 2008. And I mean, I know that in our days, kind of Russian sport and many other Russian things is not very popular, it's not easy topic to talk. But in 2008, it was in Olympic Games. It was very interesting competition. It was a rally running, and Russian women team took the gold. But it is very interesting. I mean, if you will have chance to in Wikipedia to check the story, it was very interesting how they take this gold medal. They was run on the 3rd position. The first runners was Jamaica. But what they did on the last circle, they make mistake when they passed baton. And they leave the race. Then the second was Great Britain, and they make the same mistake. And the third team was the Russian team, and they did this correct. And just because of that, I mean, it was somebody run after them, but basically because of that, they become Olympic champions. And I think this is the thing. I mean,
passing the baton.
Generational work, how well we will pass baton, if we will be able to do it correct or we not. And honestly, observing, I mean, not on many bases, I could say that we have challenge with it. Have challenge. And I think this was the reason why Lauren kind of changed create conveners and other things. I mean, it's general concept that we have this issue. I'm sorry, I will talk so much.
Thanks. It's really good stuff, though. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's very good. So I wanted to ask Mikael just a little bit about your experience in working and serving multi-generation, and if you've got any keys for us that you've learned along the way.
Yeah, thanks. In Sweden, I'm involved in an area with lots of foreigners living in the same area, but we also work with kind of Swedish families all over the country. And when I was a bit younger, we were part of a home group where you had all families, all ages together, where one adult and one child, usually from different families, would prepare the game or the worship or the input or the fika, the snacks, the food together, which was a great thing of both getting to know each other across the generations and also championing the really young children to do stuff more and more themselves, lead how much they could, and always be one adult catching up if it doesn't work sometimes. But then for us, we have been working a lot as a family with different tasks when we grew up. Now it's mostly me and my mom working with Kinskis, me and my dad working in schools ministries and drawing in others, and also outside in the forest with Nico. And one guy, he came to us, he worked with us for a week, and he was like, when I came here, I thought it would be so strange to work with people from the same family. It seemed a bit strange, but then I was like, wow, it's so cool because they use their different strengths all the time and they know each other so well. And that's one of the things that I am bringing with me, that if you work with someone that you know really well, you can be very quick in communication because you know how to communicate well, but you also know what will make the other person angry. So you skip that part, and you just, when you have come past the first quarreling issues, then it's much easier to. So for me, as the son in this family, lots of working together, it was that I had to be able to say no to my parents, and when that came, that I was able to do that in the ministry thing, that no, I think you're wrong. I think we should do it this way. That was kind of the shift when we were working much more together on the stuff. And now, of course, I'm leading more of the things and they are supporting with their things, which I'm very happy for, because they do their things good still. So it's good to have the best of them, but that I get all the good glory and stuff. That I get to do lots of the work anyway. Yeah, stand in the front line in another way.
Yeah, if you talk about this passing the baton, I think it's good in one way, but we don't talk about that. We talk about lighting a torch. We have a torch and we light the next generation's torch, but we keep on having our torch on fire because we are not out of the game. We are still there, but they are the ones leading it now. I mean, we were leading Nico's before, but now Mikael is leading the Nico. We are still part of it, like serving and doing the things that we are good at, but he's leading it. So I think it's important that we are not just giving it and then we are disappearing totally, but we are serving in another way. We have a new way for our age to, like you say, Andrej, that we are coaching and we have a new role.
I love that. I love that picture of passing the torch rather than like just passing a baton and going, okay, bye-bye. Yeah. You've still got a role to play. That's really good.
Yeah. We still have.
So we're getting towards the end of our time, but I want to hear one more time from Nikolaj. If you've got any keys or things that you want to share as a young person talking to the older generation, what would you say to us?
Как молодой, говорящий к старшему поколению, что ты нам хочешь сказать?
Я не уверен, что я прям имею какую-то формулировку, что-то сказать кому-то, не знаю.
I'm not sure if I have message to somebody.
Во-первых, я благодарен просто старшему поколению нашей миссии.
First of all, I'm thankful to the older generation of our mission.
Здесь локально.
Here, locally.
Потому что я был сам травмирован тем, что происходило в другом опыте моем.
Because I have some traumas from my previous experience in leadership.
И мне нечего особо добавить к тому, что уже сказал Андрей.
I think I don't have many things to add to what Andrej already said.
потому что я могу говорить больше к младшему поколению.
Because I can say more to the younger generation.
Okay, that's great.
То есть мне надо сказать младшему.
No, we can say to the young
Хорошо.
generation. Yeah.
Хорошо. Ну, в этой сфере я думаю, что я не знаю даже, что сказать, если честно. Ну, я думаю, что основное — сохранить идентичность в том, чтобы следовать за тем, что говорит Дух Святой, независимо от того, получилось ли найти коннект с предыдущим поколением. То есть нужно быть послушными Духу Святому в любом случае.
I think that if I want to say to the younger generation, I will say that they need to be faithful to what Holy Spirit tell them and guide them. Even if this connect with the older generation didn't happen, they need to be faithful to calling, no matter what.
Но при этом понимать, что есть принцип, что посеешь, что и пожнешь.
But in the same time, the younger generation need to understand that there is principle. What you will sow, you will harvest.
И сеять в старшее поколение то, что бы хотели потом увидеть в будущем.
And I would say that younger generation need to sow these things, kind of this attitude to the older generation that they would like to harvest later when younger generation will become older generation.
Good point. Yeah. So basically, if you want, you need to sow the same seed while you're young, so that when you get older, it will come back to you the same way.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. Thanks, Nikolaj. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm actually really sad that this is only half an hour. We could have talked a lot longer, but we're going to stick to the half an hour format and make this a podcast so people can listen to us wherever they are. And hopefully everyone's really enjoyed this along with us. And we'll go back and listen to some of the other resources that we have on the European Leaders Learning Community this month. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.